Hey guys, if you love Honda, you're gonna love what we've got. Tommy and I are driving from Los Angeles all the way back to Colorado, and Honda set us up with not only the Ridgeline, which of course is the newly refreshed mid-size pickup truck, but also check out what's behind it. Yep, it's the new Honda Talon, and this one is the one with the active suspension. So we decided to stop right here at Sand Hollow State Park outside of Hurricane, Utah, to do a little bit of, well, test driving of the new Talon. And Honda says this is the perfect combination, Tommy, right? You've got the truck to tow it here, and then you've got, of course, the Talon to have fun. But we did make a little bit of a mistake when we came out to California, and we forgot to pack our helmets. So as a surprise, we decided to each buy the other a helmet. So Tommy, let's see what you bought me.
All right, Dad, I was kind of in a pinch when it came to finding you a helmet, so I ended up going to a Harley-Davidson dealership, and let me show you what I found. You want to pop open the rear trunk there?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Look at this.
All right, so there's the rear trunk, and there is the helmet. Let me get the unboxing.
Well, at least my ears will be warm, dude.
I had $89, Dad. I apologize.
All right, well, I'll show you what I got you. I went one cooler, Tommy. I spent a little bit more money on yours. I mean, we've got tons of these back at the office, but let's do something a little bit cool, I thought to myself. So don't look. Let's just unbox it and put it on.
Holy cow. That is something else.
I went old school.
Yeah, you went way old school. I'm going to look like Evel Knievel in this puppy. All right, I'll give it a try.
Give it a try. Put it on. See what that's like.
Oh,
Oh, that's a lot of glitter.
All right, so this is the Honda Talon 1000R. Now, there are two versions of the Talon. There's a four-door four-seater and the two-door two-seater. It's rolling on a set of 28-inch tall tires. In the front, we have, of course, independent suspension with 17.7 inches of suspension travel. Moving along the side here, I really like this blue. I think it's neat. I know Honda's red, but the blue is really cool. The big news is actually back here. You can really see the Fox live valve technology. This is new for 2021 on the two-door 1000R. Basically, the computer can make 800 adjustments a second to really tailor those shocks to the terrain that you are on. Now, in the back, we've got a two-cylinder engine. It's 999 cc's. It makes about 104 horsepower. But the coolest part about the Talon is, unlike offerings from Polaris, from Can-Am, the Honda's got a normal transmission. It's got a 6-speed dual clutch transmission. So this one comes in at $23,000.
And you look, you can adjust your steering wheel.
Yeah, adjustable steering wheel. And then we've got four-wheel drive. This is an advanced four-wheel drive system. Lock rear diff, open front diff with wheel speed sensors to lock the brakes when needed. But
that was a hoot in the sand. I gotta tell you, I was a little worried about power. No issues, plenty of power, and it's so different with a CVT. You've got that kind of rubber band feel where, you know, you floor it and then there's a little bit of a lag before the power comes on. With this, it just slams gears, and it's very much like driving a car or driving a race car. The other thing I love about it is it seems to be really nimble and small and very agile. So it's a very small machine, but when you get into it, it even gets smaller. Almost like a go-kart in the sand. But you know what, Tommy? We gotta try this thing in the rocks.
so apparently the Talon has a launch mode, and I'm going to give it a try. So I'm going to start it up, make sure we got transmission into sport. I'm going to go into four-wheel drive, click the launch mode button, I hold both paddle shifters, floor it, release the paddles, and then I guess I'm going to go like stink.
Wait, you mean it's like launch control like in a Formula One car?
I've never tried it.
All right,
Let's find out.
All right, how far back should I stand?
I don't know.
I mean, is it going to rear up like an angry Bronco?
Let's see.
All right, go for it.
Here are the controls in the Talon. So this button puts it in the 4-wheel drive. That is rear-wheel drive. Over here we've got the hill hold assist and the launch mode. To the right is the selector to toggle between automatic and manual mode on the transmission. Here we have a sport mode on the transmission. Now moving down to the shifter, very simple: park, reverse, neutral. There's a high and a low range. That multiplies the power available to the wheels there for nice slow speed crawling. Here we've got the gauge cluster, and we have some more lights in front of the steering wheel. That is the launch mode indicator, and then we've got a different indicator for normal and sport on the shocks.
And over here I've got the most important bar of all, of course, the O bar, because, you know, when you're a passenger, you're holding on for dear life.
Alright, so some initial impressions of the Talon 1000R. Now, the live valve suspension, you can really feel it work, especially when you're bashing around in the dunes. The difference between normal and sport mode isn't quite as crazy as some of the Polaris products when you go from like comfort to sport mode, but it still does make a pretty noticeable difference. Now, out in the rocks, you definitely want to be in normal mode. It's a lot more compliant. Suspension travel feels really pretty good. Ground clearance is also really good, even on these 28-inch tall tires, which is nothing crazy in terms of the side-by-side world. Now, the suspension really is the magic in this. When you're out in the dunes, being able to just hold the gear all the way up to redline is really satisfying, and then you smash it into the next gear, especially in sport mode, you get a nice little jerk. It's like you're driving a little race car versus, well, a normal side-by-side. It's an entirely different experience. On the rocks, low range, select first gear, and once again, it's got like a much more just satisfying, positive engagement as you're trying to modulate over the rocks. The throttle pedal is a little bit touchy. It still has a pretty short wheelbase, so over some of the smaller undulations, you get a little bit of head bob, but overall, it's really handling well.
Here are the top 3 things I don't like about the Talon. Number 1, for big guys like me, I'm 6'2", it's a little bit tight. I'd love to have it be a little bit more compliant with space. There's not enough storage, especially back here. Let me show you this. We've got our camera gear back here. I would love to see a tailgate or something, otherwise this is just gonna go flying off. I've got it tied to the side-by-side. But these are little things. If it were my money, I suspect I would get the 4-seater. You're just gonna get a lot more use out of it. Plus it's gonna have a more compliant ride. So my last thing is, go for the 4-seater. This is fine, but go for the big one. You know this, Tommy, I've been off-roading for the last 20 years. Started out on dirt bikes, mountain bikes, ATVs, and now, of course, Jeeps and all sorts of different trucks, 4-wheelers. But I gotta tell you, side-by-sides have completely changed the game and made things that were impossible possible. It's opened up this entire world to families, and that's a really great thing. And on top of that, you add the active suspension. We've driven that, of course, in the Polaris, and it makes for a cushy and comfortable ride, letting the machine do all of the hard work. There's very little this machine won't do, and it'll take you to places well beyond I used to be able to go to. Would you agree, Tommy?
Yeah, for sure, and it's a lot of fun on the 1000R as well. It's a real hoot.
Yeah, it makes it fun and not terrifying. As always, this is Roman, and behind the camera,
Yep, Tommy.
saying thanks for watching. Yeah, and check out TFL Off-Road for more news, views, and of course, Honda Talon reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.